Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is the finale of Retrothon 2023. My name is Supersonic. I'm joined with commentary by JoeyBaby69. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. We're at the final stretch, final game of the night, and we have a long one at that. So, classic Sonic Trilogy, Sonic 1, 2, and S3K back to back, but no better person to handle the job than Supersonic himself. So we're going through the 80% category for each of these games. So all is available in his repertoire to get through each stage. You know, if he has a glitch in up his sleeves, he won't be afraid to be using it.
Indeed, and with that, I'll just go ahead and do a quick reset here, and then we'll get the run going. Joey will be explaining the majority of the run while I'll be playing, because, you know, 3 games in a row. It's gonna be quite the task, that's for sure.
Gotta be all focused and ready to go.
Yeah,
good luck.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, so of course the first game in the lineup is Sonic 1. Relatively simple first zone here. A lot of holding right, and the optimal time you want is a 25 IGT. There's some little minute strats that you will see Supersonic go for. So one of the most things I can bring up is what you can't do in this game. One of the major things you can't do in Sonic 1 is you cannot spin dash. So a lot of it is just very basic platforming and a lot of use of rolling. So just straight up holding down, no spin dash, but holding down. Holding down on certain ramps allows you to generate more speed, and utilizing certain jumps and loops allows you to get a lot of speed boosts and maintain the speed that you have. So Act 1 goes through relatively quickly, and Supersonic's going to take the bottom path here to grab a speed shoes through the wall and maintain the speed shoes and take the bottom path and hopefully make this jump over, hit the red spring, to come back to the top route and just make his way jump over and getting a pretty nice 23 there. I believe the optimal time is like 18, 19.
Yeah, 18. I didn't quite get the last break of the wall there at the very end, so ended up losing a little bit of time, but still managed to get that bottom route, which is actually really cool. So
yeah, that's really nice. I've seen the terror that is taking the top route and going through the spikes on the little up and down platform section and just immediately dying through the spikes. Is really nice. It's going to see Supersonic taking probably the coolest bits and movements in the game. If it goes through, you're going to see Supersonic just bounce through every Batnik and monitor in his way and hopefully land right into Robotnik there. Robert getting roughly 7 hits up in the air there and just getting the final hit upon landing is a really nice strat when it works out. Probably the coolest strat in the whole game, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, that went pretty well. Usually, whenever marathons happen, I tend to die in Green Hill 2, but thankfully that didn't happen. So that might be the first time ever that I never died in Green Hill 2. So
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, we take those.
So we have Marble 1. There is a glitch in this level, but it's a pretty tricky one. So Supersonic is going to just go through this level normally, which is perfectly fine, because more often than not, what the stage will actually is going to be is trying to get through a wall for X amount of time for the game just to reject you getting through it. So you know what? Might as well just play the game, I guess. So this zone specifically has a lot of cycles. There's some good amount of weightings, but there's some good strats you can utilize. There's a lot of lava that you can use as a way to damage boost through certain sections, like this right here. Going through the lava obviously makes you take damage, but you can use those iframes to get through other parts of the level. And you saw Supersonic take damage by the spike chandelier, which allows you to get on top of the section there by using the knockback from damage boost you take. And a lot of that does adds on to trying to get through the stage much faster. So getting a really nice 54 glitchless. So we have Marble 2. So there's a very simple, very simple trick. Blink and you miss it kind of thing. If you stand on the far left pixel of that platform and zip to the right by zip to the left by holding right and then jumping, you generate a zip. So when Sonic is inside collision, you and you are moving the opposite direction, you zip really far to the opposite direction, and using that time to jump, you get enough speed where you bypass the left boundary, and it underflows your X coordinates, and it allows you to just trick the game into giving you a high positive X coordinate, which in turn lets you on the far right of the screen. And he does the exact same thing here in Marble 3. So yeah, if you'd missed it on Marble 2, then he did the exact same thing in Marble 3. So again, some clean hits there, no rings, but who cares if we know what we're doing, you know, no worries, no worries.
Yeah, who needs it?
Very nicely done.
Yeah, usually I would dread Marble Zone quite a bit, so I'm kind of glad I was able to get through that pretty nicely.
Yeah, I gotta say that Marble was kind of schnasty though. I gotta say, got me a little jealous. That was really nice.
Hey, I mean, you're way better at this than I am, man.
Man, if I picked up the controller now, I wouldn't know what I'm doing. But anyways, we're in Spring Yard 1. We're gonna get the speed shoes right above. We're gonna use the slope from below and just make it right over the ceiling there, which for some reason there's no collision, so we could just bypass that section there. Do some nice clean jumps here, looking nice. Oh, just running through complete gaps. You like to see that. Screeching in the midair, the clip inside of the little hole on the right, and hitting the red spring and just jolting to the right. It's a nice 24.
Good stage there.
So yeah, Spring Yard Act 2. There is a lot of there's a section in the middle of the level where there's like spikes that goes up and down. Essentially, this is all like global cycles essentially. So depending on like what time Supersonic gets to that point in the level will determine of where they're positioned essentially. And so Supersonic, if he's coming into those sections at a very different time than he would be used to normally, he would have to just stop and wait and see where they're positioned, so he's able to just get through that cleanly. Getting the nice jump at the end there, that can be either 1 or 2 frames whenever the game feels like it being whatever that jump frame wants to be. But getting that jump is really nice. There's 2 endings in the end of that stage, and if you don't make that jump, you just bonk a wall and you have to clear the level by below, which loses some time. So Supersonic's gonna intentionally do a little pause at the beginning of the stage there, because the spike rotation is global, and as well as the spike balls that are right next to you, so he can get through that cleanly by timing his descension properly. He's gonna wait out the platforms because they are in cycles, so he can take the top route here. Gonna get some momentum to reach the top of this staircase platform that are also moving, and he'll eventually wind up in the top section here. He's gonna try to drop down to where the speed shoes are and come down, as well as with the invincibility modder, and keep that all the way through up until the boss here. And the very end section here, there is another set of stair platforms, which are global as well. So if Supersonic has a good idea of where they're positioned, he can just cleanly just jump right through all of them. Worst case scenario could happen where you can just squeeze in between 2 opening stair platforms and you just fall into your death. So there is essentially a death pit below those staircases. So you would have to be pretty careful. But Supersonic getting through that really cleanly. I mean, who's surprised, right?
Oh man, like after all the years I've been running Sonic 1, like mostly glitchless, but for the classic Trilogy runs, I normally do glitch for Sonic 1, only for some levels, not all of them. But yeah, mostly I'm a glitchless runner for this game. So a lot of the strats that I do is pretty much retained from that.
Hey man, that years of experience is definitely doing wonders right now. Looking good so far out there.
Yeah, let's hope this stays that way.
Yeah, so you may have noticed Supersonic decided to go into the water and then go right back up. Pressing the button actually triggers that platform in the air to spawn in. That's essentially a shortcut that you more or less probably have never seen unless you've watched a speedrun of it, because you would normally just have to go through the water section. So going through that going on top of that platform is way faster than any other way to do that stage. Glitchless, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a dirty, rotten cheater, then yeah, there's faster ways. But in terms of playing it the as intended way, then yeah, that's definitely the fastest route to take. So coming over here, we're gonna, going through the very nasty water physics here, but it's pretty fulfilling once you know how to like make use of it. So we're gonna go through this water current and press a button to open up the door on the right here, and we're gonna do a fancy little glitch on this wall here. So Supersonic's gonna land on the platform. Oh, not getting it there.
I'm gonna take a death here and do it again.
Okay, yeah, so thankfully there's a checkpoint here. So if Supersonic lands on that moving block section, essentially, like before it goes through the wall, it drags him inside of the wall, and he's able to use the collision that he's inside. Like I mentioned before, if you're inside of collision, you can get a lot of speed with zips. You can get a lot of zip speed. It allows you to just clip right in through the wall from the right, and you can just get to the end of the stage right there, which is really nice. So Labyrinth 3, probably the most infamous stage in the run. Glitch or glitchless, it doesn't even matter which category you're doing. So he'll be doing a trick called Bubbleless. So as soon as Supersonic enters the water, which is right now, he's gonna try to get to the very end without ever grabbing a bubble, hence the term Bubbleless. Because waiting for a bubble to appear takes time, and if he's quick enough, he can get through this entire water section without waiting to grab a bubble to regain Sonic's air capacity. Gonna press that button to make an opening here and hopefully get through this final section.
Oh, no way.
Oh, that's such troll. His face was out of the water. What?
Oh, wow. I was out of the water. The game just denied me. Okay. We're not doing that. I only have 1 life left, so.
Oh, I just noticed. Oh dear. Yeah, so as you can see, it's very infamous because yeah, if you die, you're right back to the start, and that's only just to save. I don't know how long the bubble takes, but it kind of varies how long it wants to take. But yeah, that's really unlucky. But you can see the reward in that. It's really cool when it works out, but you can also see how bad it is when you don't get it.
All right, just gotta wait for the bubble dude to do its thing. There we go. All right. Wasn't too much of a troll, I suppose.
Yeah, that's one of the better times the bubble shows up. But yeah, I mean, you gotta do for the swag, gotta do for the people, you know?
Yeah, for the fans.
For sure. So there's another little trick here where you could bypass Robotnik during the climb section here. It requires a really precise set of jumps to just completely circle around him. So just gonna try to do it. Ooh, you like to see that. So if he can maintain this movement here, he can just keep ahead of Robotnik opposed of him always being in front of you. So that's really nice. That's what you like to see.
At least we got that one.
Yeah, that saved some good time there. Yeah, you could just go right under him and you could just say adios. And you're off to the races.
Yeah, so actually for not going for bubbleless, I guess optimally I lost 10 seconds there, like on that second retry. But still like a 123 is a good enough time to get in that level because pretty tricky.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So we have Stardust 1 here. Stardust, Starlight, whatever. I just commented at CD Run like 30 minutes ago. So Starlight Zone. Pretty simple level. Making use a lot of rolling here. So rolling, like I mentioned before, is much faster than running through the slope. So having opportune times to rolling through all the loops and the slopes here makes you go really fast, especially for the ending there with a nice timed jump from the propeller. Really nice level.
All right, Starlight 2.
Yeah, so same deal as before. Getting a lot of speed, especially using the red spring, taking the bottom path over, rolling over to the right here.
Just missed that jump. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
I believe these are global as well, so just barely missed it there.
Although I don't want to die here, let's grab a ring. There we go.
Yeah, one ring's better than none rings. I definitely agree with that for sure. Great minds think alike.
Indeed.
Nicely done. But yeah, you can see there's a bunch of hooligans, some shenanigans at stake in this level here, as you can see.
Quite a bit of it.
Mm-hmm. Some tomfoolery, if you will. Yeah. So we have. Yeah, so there's a really tricky jump there you can do. Saves like probably like 7 seconds, but it's probably one of the most like sub-pixel dependent / position execution wise heavy tricks in the run. You have to do like 2 jumps in 2 different frame perfect spots, and then you get enough momentum off like your ramp jump to just make it into a seesaw from the air. It's a really nice jump when it works out, but it's really tricky to do. That's perfectly fine. Taking through this route here, gonna do some damage because there's just enemies just completely in the way, which I guess the intended way is for you to wait, but we can't wait around these parts. We don't have time for that. So using the seesaws here, the spike balls allows Sonic to get ejected upwards if it's hit on the other side, but we can also land on the opposite ends of the seesaw while the spike is on the other end to eject it upwards to hit Robotnik. But that's still a really nice level.
Yeah, the Starlight 3 boss fight is so dumb in this game. Even to do optimally as well. Like,
it's definitely one of the harder ones, especially when you want to do something involving jumping on the top part of a seesaw and actually getting enough height to reach Robotnik yourself. It's a 1 frame jump, and it's really annoying to optimize. Definitely a tricky one. So we have Scrap Rain 1, taking the top half here. There's a lot of shenanigans with these platforms here, especially for sections like, going right through all of them. That's really unfortunate. But yeah, you can see how difficult it is to maintain your posture and your positioning especially with the platforms just rotating in that kind of way. As well as some disappearing. So getting through the midsection here, we're going to hit a button that will allow the door above you to open up. And we have 1 bit of extra cycles to maneuver through and have to run upwards and take it to the end of the stage here. Nicely done.
yeah, just a slight misstep on that top route there, but could have saved a little more time there, trying to get like at least a 40.
Yeah, so Scrap Brain 2, Supersonic's gonna take a little wheel here, or a couple of wheels, to get up to this conveyor belt over here. This is pretty cycle heavy as well, especially with these buzz saws that pop up from the ceiling that could get in your way. And
ring? Okay.
Ring would be nice. All right, we play it risky here.
I'll just take the shield. Oh, never mind.
Oh, we're 1 life, boys. So we're in hell's court here. Let's go. See, this is all according to plan. You gotta play with people's butts on the edge of the seats, you know.
I gotta pull them strings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really wise of you, Supersonic. I like that. You know, we're here panicking. Oh, geez, Louise, but nah, this is all according to plan.
Is it swinging? Okay.
Yeah, getting through that very nicely. We have 2 more funny little sets of swings there, or 3 actually. I can't count. And there we go.
All right,
So
bit
now-
of a finicky Sonic 1 so far.
Yeah, doing good so far. Keeping that 1 life alive.
Yeah, somehow.
So final stage, well, not really, but you know, a final full level. I think that's an exaggeration too. This is a pretty short level if you know the right path. So this is Labyrinth Act 4 essentially. You can maintain your top pathness here, if that's even a phrase. You can take a bounce, hit this banding, and go upwards here. You can just, you're already at the end of the section here. And here we go, final zone. So I believe Supersonic will try to, there isn't like a particular, there's multiple different manipulations here, but just holding right. So you would assume this boss fight is random, but if you enter this attack, this pattern at the same time every time, its positions are always consistent. So Supersonic knows exactly where Robotnik is going to pop up, as long as he remembers the order, which would avoid any kind of confusion on trying to get certain hits, because sometimes you can be on the opposite end and Robotnik appears on the other, and that could be a big time loss. But thankfully Supersonic knows the positions here. So we have 8 hits to get the kill here. How much hits Supersonic need left? All right, we got more. 6.
Now 1 more.
Sonic 1's about to come to a close. Will we get decapitation or whatever?
Yep, here we go. Decapitation. Sonic 1. I'm gonna do a quick power cycle here to switch over to Sonic 2.
GG.
Yeah, thanks, man.
But yeah, canon ending of Sonic 1, Robotnik's head is decapitated. It's really grueling, especially for a first game. I can't believe Sega did that. But I guess, you know, early 90s, they were kind of edgy. But, you know. I have Sonic 2. So now you see 2 things on screen that are very different. One, Sonic can actually spin dash. Isn't that great? He can actually go fast. Isn't that incredible?
Absolutely dandy.
And we also have that thing traveling around. Whoever it is, his name is. I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, he'll be traveling around with us. So Mild Tails Prowler, a nice 22 with a nice little spring hit there.
Guess I'm turning in my speedrunner card.
But yeah, this is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. This is where the funny strats come in. You know, what I'm very familiar with. Yeah, getting the species here, getting the monkey jump, really nice. So there's a specific frame window that you want to jump on the floor there to get enough height to make a landing on the monkey in the tree there, which allows you to make the top path upwards without taking the red spring from below. You just maintain that species all the way through. So Dr. Roberts' head came back in the sequel. At least they didn't like, you know, keep him decapitated. That'd be really awkward. But yeah, really nice hits there. You want to get a nice 4-4. Tails is used for there to allow you to get hits 5 and 6 while Sonic is in hit stun. So you can get a really clean 8 hits there. Nicely done.
Yeah. I'm only going to be doing a lot of the old school strats. I know there's like a lot of strats found in Sonic 2 recently. Like it's been like still getting optimized to this day, but I'm like an old guy for this, so.
Oh yeah, no worries. A lot of the new stuff is, you know, for marathons is a little overrated. You know what I mean? But you know, got keep in tried and true.
Yeah.
So, very clean. What's the stage called again? Chemical 1. Yeah, there we go. So there is a trick in this game where you could level wrap at the beginning of the stage, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't entrust those abilities to my worst enemy. That's like something I would never let someone do in a normal day. So let's just play the level. I think that's nice. So really nice level 23 there. So we're gonna do some Tails manipulation here. So you see the door open there, and it didn't seem like it really did much. So, but that actually saved him 20 seconds. So normally, in the normal circumstances, Sonic would revisit that location again, but on a different path swap. So when Tails is being moved at the beginning of the stage like that, the game is tricked into making Tails somewhat close to that door, and it allows the door to open on the opposite end. So Sonic is able to walk to the left, trigger an invisible path swap, and allows him to take the alternate path that he would have taken if he played the level normally, going through that part, like playing another 20 seconds of the level. So it saves a lot of time going through all that. So Tails is really useful in a lot of cases, as you can clearly see. So we have Aquatic Ruin, okay. Aquatic Ruin Act 1. Low-key my favorite song in the game. I will not take any other opinions on that. So this is relatively simple. You want to maintain your speed and keep rolling through the slopes and all that. Getting the speed shoes here. So a funny thing about speed shoes in this game, or I guess all the Sonic games, but this is the only one that it's pretty major. If you get speed shoes and you hit water, you actually lose the speed shoes abilities. So if Supersonic hit the speed shoes and it triggers while he's still underwater, he essentially loses the speed shoes for some reason. It was never fixed until Mania or something. Like the main classics just always had that issue, which is really bizarre. So we have Act 2 here. We're gonna roll through this whole section here. Nicely that they allow that whole section to just be able to just hold down and you just get through that whole section there. Getting the nice coin flip. So performing a 1 or 2 tap spin dash on that section there, after getting hit, you're able to hit that part of the plunger or the bouncer, whatever you want to call it. But using that to get to the top path makes that section really nice. So what Supersonic tried to do there, getting a very specific timing on the boss here. So there's a glitch that you can do in this game where if you kill Robotnik on the frame, he switches animation. And more specifically, the animation where Robotnik throws the hammer down. If you kill him on that frame, he transitions from neutral to flicking the hammer down, and you kill him. It skips the exploding animation of when you defeat him, which saves 4 seconds IGT and saves seconds RTA as well. So that's a really nice time save, but it's a frame perfect trick. So we have Casino Night Act 1, getting the invincibility shoes just to make the ending a little nicer. So this part can be really scuffed, especially that part there. Maneuvering through all the bumpers and maintaining your speed, because one of the trickier things is maintaining your speed shoes, because you just ran out just before that final jump, and any kind of mishap in that movement there can make that part just not doable, and you just have to take the bottom route. But considering how Casino Night can be, we definitely take those other opposed to what Casino Night could do. Casino Night can go way worse than what that level was.
It's a fun level casually, but in a speedrunning sense, no.
Absolutely. So we're gonna maintain the speed shoes here. There's actually 2 speed shoes you collect throughout this level. So Supersonic's gonna try to do some movement there. Just barely didn't get it. So when Sonic drops down like that, he goes so fast that it's possible with a specific angle that he clips into the flipper on the left. So it allows Supersonic to not have to break the green hamburger-looking bouncy things. I don't know what those names are, but saves like a decent amount of time if you can get right through those. Really clean fight there.
Yeah, I think those are hamburgers too. So
yeah,
mutual in that.
Yeah, but balancing Sonic in the Robotnik's hitbox allows him to just get the hits without ever falling back down, and also avoids like his little spike ball hazards, whatever. It's a really clean fight to go well. So Hilltop 1. Wow, Tail is out for blood. You see that?
That was so close, man.
But yeah, this level is really finicky. I do not like this stage for a lot of various reasons, but maybe it'll work out here. So there's a lot of micro slopes in the floor of the stage, and it can make a lot of jumps just really finicky. Glitch time here, by the way. With iframes, if you have Sonic sit on the lava while the platform is coming right below you, it will sink you through the lava. Nice little midsection there, not getting hit at all. That's really nice. But I allow Sonic to go right through the bottom section really fast there.
Really close to a 39 there.
Yeah, 40s is actually really good, really good for that section there, because that can go a lot worse, especially the nature of Hilltop. So Supersonic's gonna get some 3 spin dashes upwards, taking the top here. So this is pretty cycle heavy as well. In the midsection of Hilltop 2, there is a cave where you can't persevere to the top path unless you wait for a platform that moves up and down in 4-second intervals. Barely just getting that platform right there and getting the platform just coming up right there. So that's a really nice cycle there. I said there like 4 times, but whatever. I'm pretty hyped about that.
Pretty good there, that's for sure.
Yeah. So getting through the final section of the cave, and yeah, that's a really clean Hilltop. I'm jealous.
I'll take it. Hopefully Tails doesn't screw me over here. Pretty good.
Tails cooperating, not doing some extra hits as he would sometimes want to. Like if Tails decides to get a hit in between you getting hit, you're just gonna fall right through Robotnik and hit the lava. That's not something you want to see. So Mystic Cave Act 1. Very simple stage. It's actually a pretty nice stage when it works out, but this is a stage that definitely requires, if we're talking about like, you know, pure optimization, how fast you spin dash is definitely recommended, because there's a lot of sections where you're going to want to have to be able to spin dash as quick as possible. Gain the invincibility here because there'll be a one spot where you're going to land on a layer of spikes right there, just to make that jump up through the little door there. Coming up to the final section here, spin dash off the first big vine and using that momentum to reach the end. As you can see, absolute gamer, words are hard. Gamer, you know, collecting all the continues like crazy. How much continues you're at? Like 10? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a pretty simple level as well. Could debatably be even more simpler, just because there isn't any kind of crazy routes you can take. There's one little funny jump you could do there. If you do a specific spin dash speed and jump on the tip of that slope, you can get a jump that catapults you through all the walls, and you could just cleanly get through the spots that would normally just bonk you, essentially. If you just keep that path and you just keep your posture, you can get through the end, and you skip the quote-unquote dreaded spikes of hole of doom, whatever people call it, the one people make fun of a lot in the stage. you fall into the hole and you have Supersonic and you have to wait it out.
Oh yeah.
I generally don't know how people do that. Not because like not falling in itself, but getting all the emeralds. I can never get all the emeralds in this game. Emerald 7's so hard.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Definitely hard.
Yeah, we have Oil Lotion, a really tricky stage here. So you can actually spin dash in the oil here, and it's much faster to maneuver through the stage while going under it. So you skip a lot of the obstacles that you would normally have to go through when you're above the oil and all that. But keeping that momentum and just, not going too far down below and getting touching the kill plane gets you a really clean level there. That's really nice. No death in Oil 1 is a good Oil 1 in my book.
I agree, because it tends to happen quite a bit with me there. So we have Oil Ocean 2. We're going to see actually, I believe this might be our
first level wrap? Question mark.
Yes, it is.
All right, so getting inside of that little cannon there in a weird way. So you're gonna see Sonic is a little messed up. He's a little much faster than usual. He's gonna push that little button there. He'll clip into the ceiling and zip right. He'll have enough speed to get a level wrap here. So I'm gonna get some silence here for a reason.
Nope, I messed up.
Okay. That's unfortunate. So basically it's possible to get all 8 hits just before Robotnik moves away, like just before Robotnik goes back into the oil, and it skips this little tentacle laser section and the spike ball jumping off the oil. And it saves roughly like 18 plus seconds if you can get it, but it's really tricky to do. There's also a chance to accidentally hard lock. If you kill Robotnik on the frame, he goes away, and that's obviously the worst case scenario, but it's also the only way to get the quick kill. So everyone plays risky there just for those juicy 18 seconds. We have Metropolis Act 1. The first zone with 3 acts for whatever reason. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, fun stuff. So we're gonna have Supersonic hold the screen down. So there's a lot going on here. So Supersonic has a glitch state called Slope Glitch, and he's gonna use that glitch state to zip through this whole section here and use that to go in through the floor there. Okay, so let me go this step by step. So he holds the screen down. So this is the only zone in the game that wraps infinitely vertically. So when he jumps while the screen is panned down, the screen will wrap around, which is why you couldn't see Sonic for a good bit. And if Sonic is standing on an object while the screen is off screen, while the object is off screen, it gets deloaded. The game doesn't know what to do in that scenario, so the game just puts him in an awkward state where he now just phases through the walls and just clips through all various collisions. And he can use that to clip in through the floor, which allows him to get zip speed to get to the end of the stage. And we have Metro 2. Blink and you missed it. Sorry I didn't say anything about it, but yeah, if you sink in the lava there, and again to a certain position, blindly, of course, you can get some zip speed again and just get to the end of the stage. There's a lot of zipping involved, especially in Metro 3 coming up, which could be pretty tricky because it's one of the big major tricks that heavily involves Tails. So using Tails here, bringing Tails along. So how these platforms work is when a character goes off of the platform, it drops. What you want the platform to do is drop while Sonic is still on top of it. So you want Tails to walk off the platform. So when it drops, you have Sonic inside of the wall on the left, the green floor, and use that to get himself zip speed to go really fast to the left boundary and get a level wrap. Thankfully, you have a good amount of tries to keep attempts, but it's pretty tricky to get.
Yeah. That should do
That's
it.
good. There we go. So this boss fight can be pretty silly. So there's a lot of methods with this boss fight, but the main thing you want to do is make sure that ring doesn't fall through the floor, because that can happen a lot. Susan's gonna do the nice 3-3-2 strat here. There is a strat you can do that gets you pretty much all 8 hits before he ever flies back up once, but it's ridiculously tricky to do, and it requires a lot of manipulation with Tails, and there's a lot of steps to it. But I think the biggest step required to get through that is just to not die as well, which is why the ring not falling to the floor is probably the biggest detriment to any runner, because that's something that's out of your control. Oh no, you lost the ring. I will have a lot to say here, but it was 2 minutes and 6 seconds. I forget actually.
Yeah, 206.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Supersonic is doing some really crazy stuff. It might not look like it, but he's doing some absolute insane strats here. So he's standing on the top left here, so he doesn't get hit for at least the first 50 seconds of the zone. It's crazy, right? It's like I'm flabbergasted when I'm looking at here.
Pretty insane stuff, I'd say.
Like I'm sweating. But yeah, how you feeling, man? It's not midnight like it is for me, so it's a pretty nice 9 p.m. for you.
Yeah, I mean, so far so good, you know. First of all, I am honored to be the closer for Retrothon this year, especially closing it with the Sonic block as well. Like, the classic Sonic series definitely deserves a lot of love for a various amount of events, and so I'm really glad that Retrothon gave us the opportunity to showcase not just this run, but like the other runs as well. Like we had Sonic CD just moments ago, then we had what else, the Commodore 64 of Sonic 1 SMS, the Sega Sonic game like on the arcade, and then we had like a gauntlet with King Rhodes with, what did he play? Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Jam. I think I got the order wrong, but he played all those games. And then of course we had Argic to kick it off with Sonic Spinball. So yeah, it's a huge honor for us in the classic Sonic community to be able to represent just the community itself, and just to showcase a bunch of runs for you guys. So huge thank you to the RGL crew. I mean, we still have like a lot of game left. I mean, we're just pretty much in the middle of the trilogy run, and we still got a whole game to go with Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So
we got a lot of Sonicing left, folks, so be good stuff. So now we have Wing Fortress, our last main level to run. So we're gonna see one more glimpse of Slope Glitch here. So when a platform is despawning off of Sonic's feet, he will also retain the Slope Glitch. Funny little thing about the Slope Glitch in particular, this is only possible on the Sonic Classics compilation cartridge for Genesis. So it's the only version that has this property. If you've ever played this game on any other platform, Xbox or PlayStation, Steam, what have you, you are not able to do this trick. It's only possible in that specific version alone, which is the version that has Sonic 1, 2, and Mean Bean Machine in one cart.
Oh, I didn't get the... Okay, I guess we're fighting him here.
Oh yeah, so there's some memory manipulation that goes on in this fight. So what Supersonic tried to do is spin dash on the top of that boss there, so he's able to just get the kill without ever going back in the fight like this. But it requires you to play the level in such a way which to really mitigate the technical talk here, but it basically just allows you to be able to stand on something that allows you to spin dash. But if it's done wrong, then Sonic gets stuck in a teetering animation, which doesn't let him spin dash. And at that point, you'd have to just go back and bounce and play the fight normally, which does lose a bit of time. But you can see that it's pretty tricky to get it all to work out.
Well, I guess as a consolation prize, we do get the Black Flames here.
That is true. Makes it very edgy. I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's even nicer when you play on a certain frame rate. I can't say the R word for some reason. R lettering, frame rate. If you play on a certain frame rate, like the flames doesn't even look like it's even there. They kind of like flicker and then they completely disappear. It's really cool. But getting final section here, we have Silver Sonic here. We're gonna hopefully get a nice clean 4-4. It's possible to actually soft lock here if you get the kill on the frame he kneels down. Thankfully avoiding that. And now we have one more section here. I'm gonna give complete silence. Just look and be amazed.
I did that way too early.
Unfortunate. So this fight, there's many ways to tackle the Death Egg robot here. One of the most hardest strats to do is called 12-0, and that essentially means getting all 12 hits before Robotnik flies up. That requires you to just dance between his flame hitboxes and, anything that kills you, especially in a level which doesn't have any rings.
Ah,
Oh, that's unfortunate. That was one hit away, I think. Yeah.
that was one hit away.
But yeah, like you can see, like you have to just kind of sandwich between his hitboxes just to get that kill there. But it's really cool when it works out because the time he takes to fly up loses you like 7 seconds. But it may not even look hard by just looking at it, but the hitboxes are very unforgiving. There's a hitbox on his flame, there's a hitbox on his leg, there's a hitbox on his arm, hitbox in his ass. Like it's pretty hard to do. But thankfully there is like a strat you could go for, the 9-3 or 10-2.
This one's 10-2.
Yeah, so getting 10 hits before he flies away, and the last 2 at the very end here.
All right.
GG.
That'll be the end of Sonic 2. Now we're gonna swap cartridges.
We're swapping to 2 carts, one stacked on the other.
Indeed. Now the actual final game of the marathon. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which is my favorite game of all time. We'll just jump right into it.
I do agree on that. So yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the longest game of the bunch, but which means there's twice as much to talk about. And trust me, for this game, there is a lot to talk about. One of the major differences between this game from its predecessor is the ability to have different elemental shields. So alongside with normal shields, there's also the lightning shield, fire shield, and bubble shield. They'll make appearances and they'll all have its own uses when they do show. And also another, this is a preference for Supersonic, but Supersonic decided to leave Tails off of this run, which is actually not bad because for Sonic 2, there's a lot of uses for Tails, but for this game, not so much. So if you had some struggles and didn't want Tails to mess up your run, you have full reign to just boot him out of there.
All right. I don't have the fire shield here, so I'll do this strat.
So the other changes you can see is that even Act 1s have their own boss fights. So each level has their own thing. So you have our bubble shield here. Another thing is at the end of each act, there are monitors that are synced into the floor. You'll see some uses of those later. But at the very end of this act here, there's a bubble shield right directly under there. So they're all in fixed positions. So the bubble shield is pretty useful here just to get quicker landings and making getting through certain sections in the water much more conveniently. So Act 2 of Angel 2 is pretty nice. There's a lot of little minor movements that doesn't seem like it does much, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, seeing the bubble bounce there, you could use the yellow spring on the left, but making that bubble bounce is just slightly faster. And using said bubble bounce to bubble bounce off of that spike lightning shield, and then using its ability to grant you the double jump to make yourself on top of that section there. So lightning shield is really useful in more places. So here, Supersonic's going to do a little manipulation here. If he lightning jumps at a certain spot there and spin dashes at the very end of this runway here, he's going to be able to do a cutscene skip. Essentially, the game forces you into a cutscene where Knuckles presses a button and breaks the bridge below Sonic's feet and falls into Hydro. That doing a certain bit of movement here will allow him to just go through the door, the floor that breaks without the cutscene triggering specifically, and it saves a good amount of time. Yeah, so doing a spin dash here will hopefully manipulate that for Supersonic to be able to just go straight into Hydro at the end of this fight here. Or after the end of the capsule hit, of course.
Yeah.
like if he could just fall into Hydro now, that'd be really fast, but unfortunately it doesn't save that much time. So if all is done well, yeah, you can just spin dash right under, no cutscene there. Really nicely done.
Yeah.
So we have Hydro 1. We're gonna get some nice invincibility at the very start here. We're gonna have Sonic stand on a couple of spikes, which allows him to just, you know, get some good momentum, especially without worrying of getting hit here. So this level is relatively tame. One of the more trickier parts of this level is the fight itself. So the boss fight here, of course, Act 1s, most Act 1s only takes 6 hits, opposed to the Act 2s is 8, you know, when you actually fight Robotnik. There's a pretty cool strat in the end of this level for the boss fight here. You can spin dash up the arena and get a couple of hits off screen to the boss. And hopefully there is a possibility you can get all 6 hits while you're off screen. So Supersonic's gonna try to do it. Gonna spin dash off the ramp there. You can see he's gonna get a couple hits here. 4 hits is really nice to get. So get the last 2 hits there, and then that's a much quicker fight there, opposed to just waiting for him to come down. But it's really tricky to do because he has missiles flying around him, and that all have their own respective hitboxes, which can hit Supersonic off the air and just fall right back down to the arena, which can make things troubling because you could risk losing all your rings. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. So this is our first instance of our level wrap, and we're gonna see Supersonic just take a death here for some reason. Oh, Supersonic, what are you doing? Get up, you're gonna die.
I know, what am I doing? How could I do that?
But don't worry, that was all intentional. So the reason Supersonic dies here is because in order for this wrap to work, you need to unload Act 1. So the biggest difference of this game from Sonic 1 and 2 is that the levels are linked together. So even though you're in Act 2, Act 1 is still loaded in the game, per se. But when you take a death, you unload Act 1, so all you have is Act 2, which leaves the left side of the screen completely freed up for Sonic to hit the left boundary. If you go fast enough to the left boundary, you perform a level wrap, as we mentioned before in Sonic 1 and 2. So the death is warranted just for the wrap to be possible, as well as Supersonic going through the floor by doing precise movements to clip into the floor and gain the wrap, and positioning Sonic to get the clip, get a bit of height to reach the boss arena. So there's a little bit of stuff happening in a Marble Garden here. Let's Supersonic get through this first. Nicely done. So there's some manipulation Supersonic tried to do there, which allows him to clip in through the floor there. It's really precise to do that correctly, because if you have bad subpixels, you might not be able to get the speed to get the wrap. But when done correctly, you can get the speed, and then you get into this area here. It is possible to climb up that hill off screen as soon as it wraps, but you have to do all that blindly, which is really difficult. So now you're in this loop back area. This is just a bunch of random garbage that you wouldn't normally be in. Nicely done. So this is the Act 2 boss, by the way. So there's remnants of Act 2 still loaded into Act 1. Like I mentioned, both acts are pretty connected. So the loading trigger for the Act 2 fight is still present in Act 1. And if you get into a certain part of the level where you can reach this trigger, you can fight the Act 2 boss in this awkward state of limbo. I don't even know what to call this, but you're somewhere. So now Supersonic has to maneuver Tails or Sonic to get the capsule hit, and then get Tails to grab Sonic, and the game triggers that into clearing the Act 2 fight. Well, you can see that there's a lot of things going wrong here. But because this is just a general trigger at the end of the stage, it loads up the cutscene that would bring Sonic into Carnival Night 1. So it completely skips Marble Garden Act 2, which is a huge time save. After that happened, we got some fun stuff coming up here. So we have Wheel Glitch. So that completely skews Sonic's gravity. As you can see him just walking into the complete ceiling and spin dashing to the left boundary, spin dashing in midair, walking aroundwards to the left boundary. And now Sonic has gravity skewed up to the left side, and he's gonna, just chill on the left there. No biggies, walking up, everything's fine. So Supersonic's gonna try to land on the topper here. So there's a pretty interesting quirk with this glitch state here. Supersonic is not allowed to jump. If he jumps at any point, he loses his glitch state, which allows him to glitch Act 2 of the zone. So Supersonic is going to land on the topper to roll off of it and land on the boss and keep his balance on top of the boss so he can get the weak point exposed for the topper to hit him. So Supersonic has not jumped yet, so he's going to hold the screen down for the signpost to land quicker. And because he hasn't jumped yet, he still has the glitch state from the wheel from previously. So you're gonna see some funky business happening at the start of this stage here. So I did mention that Sonic cannot jump, but he could jump on certain objects, and the barrels are one of them. So at the beginning of this stage, he's gonna spin dash to the right and jump off a barrel. He's gonna bounce off a balloon, and he's gonna use that to bounce off the ceiling here and roll upside down and just maneuver into the top of the ceiling and hopefully clip up to the ceiling. Really nice. So when you clip through upwards and you're gonna start getting a zip. There you go. And then he's gonna just maneuver to the final part of the level here. You know, simple stuff, folks.
Totally simple. I'm failing this trick a lot in practice. I'm surprised it actually worked.
Yeah, but serious time, like, yeah, it's definitely one of the more trickier things to learn because there's a lot of things going on. But as you can see, it's a really game-breaking kind of trick. It makes complete dirty work to this whole zone.
Hardest strat by far is getting the capsule.
Yeah, you know, we can go through ceilings, clip through walls, and get wheel glitch, but landing on a castle, whew, you can't make me do that.
Oh man! All right, got some jams here.
So you saw Supersonic reset the console there. So the game saves your progress after the end of an Act 2 time bonus. So you would normally have to go inside of a cannon and it shoots you into Ice Cap normally, but it's much faster to just reset at the end of the time bonus and just enter Ice Cap through file select. So there's a 20-second cutscene of the snowboard section. Not much you can do to speed that up, but at least it looks cool. So we're gonna see our first instance of slope glitch in Sonic 3 and Knuckles using a slope or a platform on the wall and hopefully walk off of it while it deloads by getting launched off to the right. I'm gonna use that to get a lot of momentum through the slope and maneuver through the stage here.
Oh, I didn't think I got it. Okay, we're going in Sonic's corridor.
The Sonic's corridor, okay. So there's two different ways you can do this. There's two different paths that works. What Supersonic tried to go for was land on the section that just Knuckles normally goes into. And it makes yourself possible to get through the end of the stage without even fighting the boss. So you would actually be able to get into launch phase zone's trigger without ever approaching this fight. So I did mention Knuckles' route. So all of Knuckles' paths that would normally be exclusive to him still do exist when you play Sonic or Tails. And they do come to a play a lot. And it definitely comes into play on launch base zone, which you will see now. So launch base zone, Supersonic's gonna do some babysitting on this flybot on the left here. So he's gonna keep this flybot on screen on his left. So he's intentionally going slow so he doesn't lose track of this flybot because it's going to be vital to get the trick coming up. So if the flybot hits Sonic inside of the elevator on the right, he gives him the ability to spin dash inside the elevator and is able to clip inside the wall under. Really nice. So getting the first frame there. So it's a two frame window to get a spin dash off of that and get a result where you clip inside the wall, and you could use that to get a level wrap into the boss fight here. But this isn't actually Sonic's boss fight. This is Knuckles' boss fight. There's two of these guys. Sonic would normally fight one of these guys in his normal playthrough. The reason this is incredibly significant is because when you have this is funny.
This is not looking good.
50k time bonus. This could be interesting.
I might end up dying here.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, yep. That's gonna.
I don't know about that. On there is the level wrap on launch 2 here.
There is. I don't know how to do it.
Okay, but yeah, so basically there's something really cool that can happen at the end of launch 1. So the reason that fight is significant is you might have already noticed already, but Supersonic killed one of the bosses and was able to end the stage while the other one was still alive. If you're able to survive and kill the second boss during Act 2, the game counts that as clearing Act 2. Even all that you did was just kill the second one on Act 2. So the boss would essentially just make you clear this entire level without even playing the level at all, and you would already be in Mushroom Hill at this point. So it's like a humongous time save if you can pull it off, but it requires you getting the kill at a very precise point, because you have to time it in such a way where the boss doesn't kill you while you're at your act clear jingle, if you will. So you have to time it just perfectly to avoid getting killed there. But unfortunately, Supersonic did get hit, so he would have to play launch 2 the normal way. But hey, who doesn't like more gameplay, right?
Hey, we'll take it. I mean, I gave myself an hour 45 estimate for this reason, so. But we're still in pretty good shape, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so launch 2 does have a wrap here, but it requires you to have a perfect spin dash at the start and do a frame perfect jump just before you make contact with the floor, and you can zip into the end. But it's pretty tricky. But you know, launch 2 is actually a really fun stage if you forget the part that you can skip it. But yeah. So we have good old Robert here. I believe it does. He needs 8 hits here as well. Yeah. So he shoots a little bowling ball, you know, like Back to the Future, getting all the hits there, and he broached a little cutscene that lasts honestly longer than it should. Honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's a nice little water break. It's really nice.
Stay hydrated.
So unfortunately, Big Arms is locked behind like playing the Knuckles run, which is really unfortunate. It's a pretty cool fight.
Yeah, I agree. It is actually a really fun fight. Like, at least we get to fight him like in Sonic 3 standalone, even though that game is not really great in terms of physics and all that. But it is definitely a very fun fight.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't mention this, but oh yeah, Sonic has a Insta Shield, which is really nice. Insta Shield increases your hit range for your attacks. It also gives you invincibility for a brief moment. It's one of the most powerful tricks, abilities Sonic was ever given. Can't believe it took me this long to bring it up, but yeah, it's a really good ability when you have it, and you make good use of it. Another quick reset here, much faster than watching the cutscene. And welcome to the true final game of Retrothon, Sonic and Knuckles.
True.
We got a little cutscene to watch. We're gonna see Knuckles close his door here, being a little mischievous little devil he is. But we're gonna say, so screw that, open that door right back up, open that bad boy up, and we're gonna try to get crushed into it. Except not really, we're gonna try to clip into the floor by doing some specific movement here. We get synced into the floor, and hopefully we can position ourselves to drop down. So Sonic is doing some movement to position himself for a trick coming up.
I don't think this might work. Yeah, I had a feeling.
That might be too high, yeah. Yeah, so what Supersonic tried to do is make the boss arena be in a different position, the screen. So this wrap will allow you to get to the end of the stage, but what Supersonic tried to do is have the screen in a different position for a particular boss kill here. If you can kill the boss just as soon as he's flying away, you're able to glitch out Mushroom Hill 2, which allows Sonic to just clip into the floor as soon as Act 2 starts, because the collision of a hill just spawns right on top of him for whatever reason. And that allows him to obviously get inside of the floor and use that to zip 2/3 of Mushroom Hill 2. But unfortunately, he'll just have to play it normally, which, you know, is perfectly fine. This level's really nice. Level's pretty dope. Supersonic's gonna take this blue mushroom path here, taking the red spring above, getting up here relatively quickly. A lot of this is all maintaining your speed off of a lot of boosters you get, a lot of speed you get from various parts of the level. Especially a lot of the red springs that appear occasionally throughout the level.
I always forget about those spikes up there.
Yeah, they get you when you least expect it. It's a nice little speedy section here, a lot of loops here. And we can get a nice little jump insta shield, bounce up into the, not getting the hanger just there, but it's a really cool little landing there. So yeah, there's not much you can do to speed up this part, especially if you're Sonic. You just hold down on the D-pad multiple times in a row, and then yeah, you make some good progress up that little, I don't even know what you call that, hanger. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, hanger, pulley, something like that along those lines.
Yeah, so you can see the fire shield being pretty useful. So the little flames on the ship of Robotnik there can hit you if you don't have the fire shield, but they aren't a hazard at all if you have the fire shield in tow.
I swear, the capsules are just impossible.
They're the hardest parts in the game. It's so true. Like they stand there menacingly.
Yeah, they're stationary.
Alright, so we have Flying Battery Act 1. We got a little something going on here.
As intended, by design, and intended.
Yeah, so we can, by spin dashing up that little loop there, you skip a certain trigger that should uncurl you from your ball form. And you're able to spin dash or exit your uncurling when you hit the mesh, the cylinder mesh. And it just essentially gives you like this pseudo slope glitch. And then you just essentially can just clip through the whole stage and just hold right and you're at the end. No game there. Oh, and you also get a nice funny sprite of the game's choosing. It comes in 2 different colors, different flavors, and this is the one the game gave Supersonic.
Yeah, he's just kind of staring at us into, I don't know, what do you call it, into the Twilight Zone or something.
Mm-hmm, he's just staring at everyone, like, yo, what's up? But standing on the right side of the capsule there, gives him slope glitch for this next section here. So I believe Supersonic's gonna go for the top strat.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. If I miss it, then I'll go bottom route. As long as I retain slope glitch.
I'll be silent. That looks good. I like that.
At least I'm up here.
Yeah, we got the hard part down.
Take it.
In this top path here, slow down, very good. Okay, so using that slope glitch, you can clip into the slope, but there's a lot of micro movement you have to do while you're inside of the wall, which allows Supersonic to just zip up into the top area there. It's really tricky to do, but it's incredibly rewarding because this stage is roughly 3 minutes glitchless. Getting there just gets you by the end of the stage by 40 seconds. But, you get the end by 1 minute and 20-ish seconds or so.
Roughly, yeah. That was about right.
So it's a big time save. So Supersonic getting that is really nice. So this is the section that you would normally have to wait for the platform to rise, but since Sonic completely skipped that fight entirely, the platform starts at its lowest. So you're kind of just sitting there for nothing, but eventually the game remembers, oh yeah, you got there. So four hits at the very beginning and another 4 hits when Robert comes back up. 124, nicely done.
We'll take it.
Capsule final boss? Capsule final
Always.
boss. Mm-hmm. right, so warning everyone, blink and you miss it. So Supersonic's gonna do something coming up at the very beginning of Sando 1. So Sando 1's a very long level, very treacherous or whatever. If Supersonic does some nice little funny movement here, there you go, he's at the end. Yeah, so, but you know, just so you guys aren't confused, that's not a slope glitch. It's just a glitch that involves a slope. See, we're getting somewhere. So for some reason, if he jumps at a certain angle on the slope, he kind of clips right through it, and he gets some speed from that clip, and that's just enough speed to get the wrap. You know, after all that we've skipped, this is not one of the ones we can skip, and yeah, so Sonic just have to just chillax, you know, take a nice breather, take a stretch, get a little wah-wah, you know, anything that keeps you hydrated.
More waiting. I guess that's the one thing about like the Act 1 bosses for the and Knuckles have. Like a lot of them are very underwhelming.
Yeah, I guess they thought waiting was really eventful or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once you knock out Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to the sand on the left, we can now persevere to the fun stuff, which is Sando 2. Getting the fire shield, I like that. So there are two routes in Sando 2, and Sando 2 is very cycle heavy. So a lot of movement just to optimize speed is very necessary to make some tight cycles here, especially at the beginning here. So yeah, right there was a cycle in and of itself. So what Supersonic's gonna do is maintain this fire shield for a good bit of the way, and gonna take a very different path that wouldn't be. Ooh, this is some inventive stuff here. Let me tell you. Oh, okay. Okay, so skipping the ghost there. The ghost does not spawn ever again unless you hit a checkpoint for some reason. Yeah, so they're gonna take the top path here. Gonna take this slide over here.
I'm gonna be careful, try not to hit that checkpoint, otherwise it'll trigger the ghosts.
Yeah, no ghosty. That's pretty inventive. Yeah, so you can see the nice darkness with no ghosts in your way. You're gonna see a nice little glitch here. If Sonic positions himself just right and hugs the wall, he clips right in through the floor because he's going fast enough. And we're gonna go into a pretty infamous trick. We're gonna have loop clip here. With very precise positioning, Sonic is able to clip into the wall on the right here. If he slows himself down just enough, he can start clipping into the wall and climb up to a section which skips a very crucial sandfall section there. So the normal way you're supposed to maneuver this is hitting something that triggers the sand to rise, and that allows Sonic to climb up into this area here. But if you do a loop clip and do a screen wrap at the end of that section there, which unloads the piston into clipping into the wall once you reload it, you skip in all the sandfall sections, which saves a lot of time because normally you would have to wait a long time if you have to play those normally. Yeah, there you go, jumping over the the checkpoint there. No ghosties here.
No ghosty goos in this one.
Just missing that cycle. So these are the cycles we're talking about. It's if you don't have the proper shield as well, because there is a lightning shield route which negates that part being a time loss, because you could just lightning shield up there. But if you don't have the lightning shield at all, you would have to wait it. But it's one of those things where, yeah, it's a very dependent on if you can make those cycles or not. So yeah, Mr. Golem Boy here, getting all the hits there. Hitting him will make his weak point expose, and you can get a pretty nice 4 to 5 hits per opening. That's really nice.
Yeah, and I decided to grab the checkpoint there so you can see the ghost show up for just like a couple seconds.
Ghosties for the fansies. Yeah, so we have Lava Reef 1. Probably pretty debatably the hardest stage in the run. There's a lot to it, so we're gonna will you go for the lava wrap?
I'm gonna try it once.
Okay. So there is two routes in this stage. One's the more or less glitchless route. Not exactly glitchless. There is glitches to the glitchless route, but basically non-level route. That's more accurate. So what Supersonic's gonna do is go back to the left here and spin dash to this wall here, which is actually an object. It's actually a door that's behind that. If you do a very fast spin dash and do 2 1-taps at the end of your spin dash, you actually bypass it because you unload the door in front of you because you position the screen in such a way where it's off screen and you allow Sonic to bypass it. Now Supersonic is going to try to clip into the floor by using the crusher right above him. Oh, I'm not getting the zip there. So that's the tricky part. You want to zip to the right, but not zip too short where you're still under the crusher and you get killed there. There's also a risk of soft locking there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that would allow you to zip into the floor and get the level wrap. So Supersonic is going to take the normal route here, which, you know, more content to talk about. So we're gonna go maneuver here. We're gonna make this zipper, this little elevator thing, come up very slowly, and you can clip into the floor. If you don't make it go up too high, you kind of just have it low enough where it just sinks you into the floor that you're in. You can just maneuver over. These spike platforms are screen-based, so where Sonic is positioned can also influence its height and positioning. So it's nice to be able to make sure by the time you approach there, you can land onto them and they're already rising up. All right, so here we have probably the big make or break of any speedrun in this game. We have monitor clip. So like you saw before in Mushroom Hill 1, I believe, and Angel Island 1, they're designated spots where monitors can pop up. And this floor is different. I'll have some quiet time here.
Go.
Let's go. You love to see that ish. So as you can see, the floor is very kind to us here. So you can actually clip into the floor while the monitor is sinking down. And if you position Sonic in just a way, you can get a clip into the floor there, and that allows you to level wrap at the end of the beginning of launch base, Lava Reef 2. So we have one more obstacle here. Supersonic's gonna try to stair clip inside, well, the stair, of course, and that allows him to zip into the Knuckles path from below.
Come on, get in there. There we go.
Nicely done. First try, let's go. Well, first try object phase, if you will.
Object phase, yeah, we'll call that.
So skipping the entirety of the Lava Reef 2 boss fight. Nice 2 straight jumps, by the way. into Knuckles' path into Hidden Palace. That's really nice.
All right, get your oh no's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh gee whiz. Oh criminy. Oh my days.
You put him on the other side. Whatever.
Yeah, Knuckles doesn't put up much of a fight, but yeah, he tries his best.
Now we see Knuckles playing his air guitar, wanting his Master Emerald to come back down, or his giant ring pop, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's the part of the story where it's like, oh no, you backstabbed me. Grr, I'm angry. I will side with Sonic now, or something like that. I don't know. I didn't read the instruction booklet, but yeah. So this is the part where you go to Sky Sanctuary, and you know, Knuckles is on your side and all that. AKA nice cutscene, nice slinky.
There we go. We got 3 slinkies.
Yeah, so that's the hardest strat in the game, the slinky. You walk off the top of the stair and you hold down, and hopefully you roll on every stair that you land on. If you pull that off, it doesn't matter what your time is, you get automatic world record. No one cares unless you get slinky.
Yeah.
So Supersonic is intentionally waiting out this section because coming up on the right, there is a screen-based cycle pole that's at the end of this section here once the screen unloads. So Sonic is able to land on the pole as soon as it goes up. It makes that part much faster. Getting the lightning jump here, we're gonna see our last screen wrap here, holding down the screen, and it actually skips a pretty crucial part. Well, I say pretty crucial, pretty major. You skip 2 little mini bosses that you would normally fight by holding down the screen there. You unload a death plane, so you can you more or less just come from the top of the screen because this is a level that wraps infinitely. So you just end up into the top of the level by just doing that little screen wrap there, and you end up at the end of the stage here.
Becca actually gave me a pretty good pattern there. I just kind of screwed up the fight.
Yeah, not too shabby though.
All right, last cutscene skip of the game.
So we have my personal most hated stage in the run, Death Egg. There's a lot of little shenanigans that can happen here, but the main one I'm concerned about is wall clip. So what Supersonic's going to do is spin dash to the right here and stand on this conveyor belt. Well, stand on the spike on the left of the conveyor belt specifically. And what Supersonic is going to do is jump. Oh, got too low. That's unfortunate.
I'm dead.
Yeah, oh, that's completely unlucky. That's something Supersonic did not have control over. So there's a lot of things to talk about here. So what Supersonic is doing, he's unloading a spike that's above him, which allows him to make it reload while he's on it, and it clips him into the wall. So when he clips into the wall, it's not over yet. There's a lot of things that can happen once you're in the wall. Okay, so that's much better. So what happened the first time around is oh, here we go. Oh my god, that's so sick, dude. Oh, let's go, man. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff, but that's like one of the hardest things you can do. So, but you saw in the first time around, Supersonic died on the wall clip, and that's because the subpixels just made him go too far down. And the second time around, it worked out. So what you just saw there, that is Graviton. Normally you're supposed to hit 6 buttons inside of that little gravity room that makes the door open on the right. But if you do a certain bit of movement that allows you to get hit by the bullet inside of the gravity room, you get full control of Sonic again, and you can use momentum to clip into the far right door instead. But the big challenging part of that is that if you mess that up, you get soft locked, and you have to just restart the stage. So you're risking a whole minute to save 7 seconds. But those are some cool ass 7 seconds to save if I ever seen it. Good red eye, by the way.
Yeah, that was a bit risky there. I ran out of my ring, and then it just kind of went haywire. I was trying to get them all in one cycle there, but last hit was just kind of not there.
Okay, all right, so final level of the game. Supersonic is going to die. Intentional death.
This is intentional, yes.
Yeah, so same business in Hydra 1. You want to unload Act 1 of Death Egg, so the level wrap is possible here. So we're going to see an upside down level wrap. So Supersonic's going to respawn the staircase on the left here. Going to screen wrap one more time to hold the screen down and unload the stair that's above him and use it to clip into the wall on the right. And he's going to time a 2-frame lightning jump.
Good.
Nice, first try. Pauseless too.
I can't do that strap using pauses for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I struggle with it.
Hey, it's time save though.
Yeah.
I paused everyone else, so if there's one way you're better at, at least is the fast way, which is the non-pausing way. So lightning jumping during your descension there gets you at a certain height, which allows you to clip inside of this boss arena once the wrap finishes. So you pretty much skip the entire level with that little sequence alone, and yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, this is Uwu Ball.
Yeah.
He's definitely related to the Ubisoft guy. who pretty much wants
Also-
to pick a fight with anybody that talks shit about his runs or something, or his movies.
Yeah, this can also be classified as a boss because you're kind of going not doing much with the fight, but you're doing one thing here. So Supersonic spin dashes, one tap spin dashes to the trigger zone here, which actually does something major. It offsets the collision on the floor, so it looks relatively normal here, but it's gonna be very apparent on the second phase. So basically, the collision is more offset to the left. And ignores the graphics entirely. So Supersonic should not be going far to the right because it's actually a death pit now because you move the collision very far to the left. Because of that, you're now able to spin dash safely on the left by just holding spin dash because it's not a hole anymore. You can just hug that far left side even though visually it looks like you should be dying. Like, oh, Supersonic, how are you do it?
More hits to go. Oh, got that last one.
One more hit to go.
That's it.
And GG.
That's it. That's the run. Whew, man.
Went through the gauntlet for the fans, you know. You went tooth and nail on all those. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, that's a 123.59 RTA. Wow. I was not expecting that.
Really good. Got me, got me sweating there, man.
Yeah, you know, pulled off some pretty cool tricks. I mean, some were unfortunate. You know, I wasn't able to show off the Lava Reef level wrap, and there's like a few other things I wasn't able to show off. But you know what? All in all, like going through technically 4 games, because I guess if you want to count Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles separately, we ran the gauntlet, and yeah, we beat all 3 of those games in just under an hour and a half, surprisingly. So pretty good run, I'd say.
Yeah, this shows how difficult these games can be at very top level, and Supersonic just nailing it all in less than an hour and a half. You can see all the tricks that he has to pull off, and all the movement, even stuff that's even just hard to explain. Like just basically what you're seeing, it's really impressive for someone to pull off back to back to back in that type of that kind of top level play as you saw there. So really impressive stuff, Supersonic.
Yeah, thanks. Well, that is it for the Classic Sonic Trilogy. That is also it for Retrothon. We got the finale coming up. I just want to say a huge thank you to Joey Baby for joining me for commentary. Really appreciate it. It was like a last minute thing too. I literally asked him like pretty much an hour before my run.
Yeah, I mean, no, anytime, man.
Yeah, I always appreciate it, man. And also huge shout outs to the Classic Sonic community. Huge shout outs to like every runner that participated in Retrothon this year. Also huge thank you to the RGL crew for entrusting in me to do the finale this year. I'm completely honored and blown away at the, you know, just being able to do this. So huge thank you to the RGL crew. And yeah, you know, thanks to the chat for watching. Hope you all enjoyed all the runs throughout the entire week, and we'll see what next year brings us. So that'll be it for me. Thanks for watching.
Have a good one, everyone.